Okay, so this is a thing right here, if you can tell. These are two names I didn't even know about. I've known about them separately. I didn't know that they had any feuds, but you might be thinking, okay. Here's a source I cannot hardly trust, but I did read their articles from time to time. The reason I don't trust them isn't because of their articles. Sometimes it's full of crap. I know that it is, but whatever. That's neither here nor there. But because of the fact that they used to have a player where the player just, I forget what was wrong with it, but it was never the same. Anyway, the reason why we're here originally, if I scroll back all the way from the beginning, maybe it's something else. Anyway, yada 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 yada. I didn't even know that Jim Carrey and Tommy Lee Jones had a feud. Tommy Lee Jones, I'm just not gonna bother to read it all because it's too much to read. Uh, but apparently he could not stand his, he said he was overpaid and overprivileged. So I mean, he was definitely not a fan of Carrey's slapstick style. So moving on, Julia Roberts and Nick Nolte. Okay, I kind of thought there was something going on there, but I don't really care. James DeFranco and Tyrese Gibson. Okay. Tyrese Gibson claimed that James Franco had decided not to throw his punches. He was actually hitting him. Okay. Will Smith and Jenna Huber. I guess it must be still going on. I don't know. I mean, it has been going on and up anyway that I could see. Again, I'm not one of those people. I say again, not. I don't know if I've ever told this to the channel, but I've said this like in other places. But like I've seen from now and then on the news because I don't check the news very often, and when I do, it's only on my Google Google Phase. I'll show you here a little bit. Anyway, Will Smith and Jenna Hubert. Now, I did not know either, but it did come out. I did watch the interview, the blah, 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 the whole family reunion, yada, yada, yada. I didn't know about it until after that whole thing was going on. But anyway, I had no idea. That was the real way you would have found out before this was a thing. It's not many don't know that because you couldn't have found it anywhere. I mean, maybe you might have if you were just looking curiously. I guess you might have found some random article somewhere. But if you were just looking, back in my day, you couldn't just find it anywhere. Now you can, without even looking it up. It's there. I mean, you just kind of get even remotely close to it, or specifically now. But anyway, or even directly to it. But yeah, so Shannon Doherty, this is something else I did not know. I never really questioned it as if to be like that, but I did wonder why that she left the show or what happened. Why they essentially killed off the show. It kind of explains it in a way, but it's still stupid because when they did the next season, because yes, I watched that show, was not a fan of the romance. I will tell you that right now. Anyway, moving on. When they did the whole show, after the fact that they had killed off her character, they didn't show anything resembling to her to the past. The only way you could have seen the resembling anything to it was, well, if you'd have seen the episodes before that led up to that. And because of the whole thing, I couldn't stay into it. But I did watch a lot of the other episodes later on when another one came in. They could have had the power of 4, but they didn't want to do that because they were having problems with Shannon Doherty. I did not know that Shannon Doherty as well was having problems with 90210. Yes, I watched that show. I don't remember it very well. It's been too long. And Luke Perry was a part of the show, but he died. And they talk about how the real reason why. Oh, stop it. I didn't even know that Richard Gere and Sylvester Stallone was going to be working together. But you'll never see that because it was only because of one film. Um, explained that they had finally explained the beef between the actors during the 2000. It was cool news. I didn't know that anyway. Character Chico in the 1977. I'm gonna let you read that. But anyway, then because I'm trying to do this quickly and not trying to track this out. But anyway, in the 1974 coming of age drama, The Lords of Flatbush. I don't think I ever watched that show. But if I did, I don't remember it anyway. Unfortunately, Richard Gere, actually, that's how I've been knowing him as not Guerrero because it almost doesn't sound anyway. And Stallone clashed immediately during filming. It was replaced by Perry King. I don't remember. Yeah, okay, maybe I didn't watch that movie, or if I did, I didn't want to pay attention anyway. Stallone calls Richard being a complete jerk on the set, including getting too rough during fight rehearsals. Yet another one that was doing that, like between James Franco and the other guy. I can't think of his name, but he was in the Fast and Furious a little bit later on. Anyway, yeah, and spilling greasy food all over Stallone's pants. Now, here's the thing that they're not saying whether or not he was sitting down, and whether or not it was deliberate. And really, anyway, the director had to come. Okay, blah 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 blah. Richard Gere was given his walking papers into his day suit. Seriously, he likes me, but thinks I'm an individual responsible for the gerbil rumor. Not true, but that's the rumor. Robert Downey Jr. Terrence Howard. I didn't know that they had a feud. All I know is that he didn't come back on the next one. I kind of wondered why he wasn't on the set, but I never thought that it was because of a feud. But I mean, it's not surprising, but still, it's not always because of a feud. Anyway, so apparently, Terrence Howard isn't shy about talking about his falling out with Iron Man co-star Robert Jr. In 2013, Howard appeared on Bravo's Watch What Happens Live and claimed that while the studio had initially signed him to a 3-movie deal, they came to me the second and said, "Look, we will pay you 1/8 of what we contractually had for you because we think the second one will be successful with or without you." He went on to put the blame firmly on Robert Downey Jr.'s shoulders. I called him, or Robert Downey anyway. That's what we actually know him as. I called him my friend. I called my friend that I helped get the first job, and he didn't call me back for 3 months. It would take 3 years for the pair to finally patch up their differences when they reunited at 2016 at the 2016 wedding of director Brian Grazer. I don't know. So apparently a lot of people can't, bury the hatchet, but they can perform well. Sometimes they can't. Period. But it's on or off. And some of them just don't, whatever. Kevin Smith and Bruce Willis, okay? They didn't know that they had a feud. Had no issues acting together on the set of Live Free or Die Hard. The two who had a very uneasy working relationship. See, I don't know who that is in the background. Kind of looks familiar. Anyway, the 2010 police comedy Cop Out, in which Willis starred and Smith directed, prior to working together on the underwhelming buddy cop film. Smith had greatly admired the Die Hard superstar and actually took a massive pay cut in order to work with Willis. Unfortunately, superstars sometimes come along with super egos. While Kevin Smith and Smith had no issues. I didn't read that part. But anyway, I did originally when I first read this. But yeah, so there you go. If you want to read it, go ahead. I'll leave it there for a few seconds. Okay, now we're going to move on. Smith later described the cop-out directing experience with Willis as soul-crushing and credits Willis co-star Tracy Morgan with helping him get through filming. And yada, yada, yada. Basically, he could have killed somebody. Here's the thing I have about pizza places. Now, I'm going to put it in my 2 cents. Okay? There's always going to be one chain or one restaurant somewhere on the railroad, or not one chain, but so many of them that's going to be bad. And they still have bad service all over the world. Where I'm at, I've had some bad service. I can tell. And it wasn't that bad. They burnt the pizza. They've done this, they've done that. But overall, I would say that I quite enjoyed them. And just like any other pizza place, whether it's Papa John's, Pizza Hut, there was another place that I liked getting it delivered from. They don't have it anywhere else in the United States. Most places don't either. There's actually another place I think they had delivery, but they wouldn't deliver to where we were. And it was a gas station, believe it or not. And we'd go up there and pick it up. We'd get we got like sub sandwiches or something like that. And they had pizza, I think, too, over there, if I'm not mistaken. I can't think of it now, but it's exclusively in Missouri. I like their stuff too. Missouri had another one as well it was exclusive to them. They have another place as well that's a store. It's called Meat and More. Well, I don't know if they're still in business nowadays, especially since the pandemic and all that, and recalling all that. Because I don't get the whole ouch thing. Like Domino's in general is bad. That's like Papa John's is general and bad. Bad. I can speak. Bad in general. It's like Pizza Hut. Bad in general. All their food to me has been great. I've even liked Little Caesars. I have. I never tried it before until one time. There's people that used to work for my mom. Actually, it was the woman, she had her husband over there that would help her out. Anyway, so moving on. They had moved into a big house, and because the kids would not come by, they had to move down there where they were at. And we haven't heard anything from them since. Anyway, moving on. They had brought over some pizzas from. I don't remember ever trying it, but anyway. And I liked Little Caesars, or my dad didn't. It tasted like cardboard. Now, there's a Little Caesars up here. I tried it. It was not all that in a bag of chips. Let me tell you right now. It wasn't all that. Now they have this thing called Hunt's Brother Pizza. They have breakfast pizza like they did in school. It's kind of that nobody knows about, but I don't think it was. I don't remember if it was shaped like that, and it wasn't that kind. It looks like bread either. That kind, I don't know. It was okay. I ate it. I didn't really like it. And they still considered it for breakfast, and that's not the kind of breakfast. The breakfast pizza that I remember they actually had over there at Hunt's Brothers. I don't know if it's over there in Blue Ridge. I didn't bother to go over there. But the one up here, I'm not going to tell you. Anyway, up here has it. Or they did anyway. Yeah, so basically right here, Wesley Snipes and Ryan Reynolds. Okay, count up here's blah blah times train far more interesting blah blah blah. Okay. I'll leave this on the set for just a few minutes longer. I'll let y'all just read that. Okay. Oh, I didn't read this part. Let down. Okay. Unfortunately, the first two films in the trilogy Trinity was a critical and commercial letdown. According to Oswald, director David S. Goyer shouldn't be blamed for the way the movie turned out, as he spent half of his time dealing with the erratic behavior of leading man Wesley Snipes. Well, I didn't know that. I thought it was a success. I mean, I don't know that because a lot of people enjoyed that movie. It was pretty good. Even the second movie was good. I don't know. The third movie was pretty good, but not, I guess, as spectacular. The fourth film, I will say this, was not all that. It was okay. It was pretty good. It was somewhat decent, I will say that. I'm not going to say it's too terribly bad that you shouldn't watch it or anything like that particularly. But because they didn't have Wesley Snipes in it. Sorry, I could tell you to spoil it to you, but yeah, it was planned for him to be in there, but he just didn't go in there. And then because it was also plans for him to go into the TV series, which I didn't know they were going to do that. But eventually they just decided to use the guy on set from the fourth film. And they were kind of doing it in a rebooted type way. From the film into the series. Crazy stuff. Wesley was just F beep in a crazy, hilarious way. The actor and comedian told AB Club he wouldn't come out of his trailer. He would smoke weed all day. Would roll with. Okay, look at that. Oswald claims Snipes tried to. Okay, I'm just gonna let you read that. I'm gonna shut up now. So the thing about bikers is I don't get what difference between that and cops are because they're just as or can be just as brutal, you know. But anyway, freaked Wesley out so much, huh? One just girls. Last was, however, the commercial star also didn't get along with co-star Ryan Reynolds, which I had no idea. I've heard him say that cracker before on TV screen, but I mean, I don't know about this. Blah blah blah. Condition of men melody. Okay. Out of my eye line. Get his lines right. Okay. And yep, he said a no. I mean, in other words, when I say a few minutes is long enough for you to have to, so you can pause it and then read it if you want to, or I move on. Tom Sizemore and Val Kilmer. Look at that picture. That kind of seems familiar. Throughout the 90s, I'll leave it there for a second so you can pause it to kind of look at there. Okay, now we're going to go down here. Okay, wasn't really a trick Hollywood. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, but Bill Cameron said, we're reviewing 95 years later on the set of Red Planet. Things weren't so rosy. I don't remember that part of this. Reportedly, Cameron was upset when he learned that production had paid to ship Sizemore's exercise equipment to Australia, where filming was taking place. I don't get it, but okay. Like, were you upset because they wouldn't ship you anything like that? Why should you be jealous? Anyway. Go ahead and pause and read it if you want to. Or continue on. According to Sizemore's memory, by some miracle I made it out of there, shouting. A shouting match erupted. Okay, into Tom, which escalated to Tom throwing a 50-pound weight at Kilmer. He missed. He asked. Later, a producer asked, I thought it was the producer, but anyway, asked Sizemore to avoid hitting Kilmer in the face. When they got into their next knockdown, drag-out fight, Tom complied. I remember that. I thought it was compiled, but whatever. Literally slugging Kilmer in the chest and telling him, I'm never going to another planet with you. Time heals all wounds, however. The two former co-stars had finally buried the hatchet as of 2014. When you say buried the hatchet, does that mean they're going to work together again, or they're just kind of are just friends? Because sometimes it's just friends, or they'll try to work together again, and they still, they can still be friends. Blah blah blah. Juliana Margulis. I'll let you kind of pause that and read it on your own. So whatever. And Marchi Punjabi. Never heard of him. I mean, I think I kind of seems like familiar, but A Good Housewife was something I did kind of watch. I'll let you pause that and look at them if you want to look at them. Their resemblance is just so uncanny. Okay, yada 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 yada. 51 episodes. Okay. Blah, 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 blah. So, yeah, if you want to pause it, I'll let you read it. And then, I hate when advertisements get in the way. I'm not going to pay to get it to go away. Okay, seen separately when, and then we're stitched together using the power of green screen and CGI. And I mean, if you can't even stand to be in the same room as a coworker, it may be time to follow per job he's lead and find a new job. Oh, okay, I thought it was something else. Okay, so I'll let you pause it there and whatever. Okay. William Shatner and George Takei, I've already heard about this. They decayed spanning feud. Apparently they were supposed to be friends and then blah 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 blah. He's had like feuds with others too, to be fair, like with then there's supposed to be a feud between him and Dr. McCoy, the guy who played him. Um and oh god, what is his name? Spock, the original one. He had a feud with him. So he wasn't sure that he buried the hatchet with him, so to speak. So yeah. Let you read that. And slay the all iconic stars as they originally were before, you know. And there's somebody that's not even mentioned in this article. See that guy in the red shirt? You don't know who that is. You don't know Star Trek, the original series. I don't remember there ever being a scene like this, but I do remember something like this similar. Anyway, that is Scotty, and I can't remember the guy who played the guy's original. Oh yeah, James Doolittle. He passed away. Oh yeah, but he did continue on in the next generation though. Before he did that, so pretty much, yeah. So Scotty's character actually survived thanks to something that happened that almost critically wounded his ship to the point that he couldn't be saved. But it was a miracle, with him and some crew. He was still an engineer. He refused to become a captain, but I think he was an ambassador engineer or something like that, or whatever. I think that's what it ultimately became like. So anyway, I'll let you pause that right there. They were apparently clashed over a close-up shot where Captain Kirk was not a team player, according to Takei Sulu. But the man at the helm of the USS Enterprise claims he barely even knew his lieutenant and has even questioned Takei's mental health. Okay. Well, to be fair, Captain Kirk, it has even been noted, if you actually watch Star Trek Deep Space Nine, when they do the episode about, what was it? The Trebles episode, rehashing that one there, they actually talk about it. They actually noted, I didn't even realize that that's what they were noting about, but yeah, he is not a team player. That's the way they wrote him as, even though that he would a lot of times have missions on the show. And I'm not just talking about the actor himself. I'm talking about the character. The character himself was written in, I mean, as a person that was not a team player, but yet he did go down. He would work with people, but then he would be like separate. It's like the other captain before him. Oh yeah, there was a captain before him, but he was barely on the show. He barely even had any screen time. I mean, even though the entire episode focused on him, and then they brought it back on an episode later. Well, it wasn't so barely that you didn't notice he was there, but like, okay, by the time that William Shatner even took over, it was episode 2. I don't know if that was ever talked about, but basically, It was an hour-long episode. I don't remember if Captain Kirk actually was in the first episode, the very first one. But I know for a fact that the captain of that one, you know, somehow turned old and whatever. But we don't know anything about him until much later. So that's a bit of a spoiler there for you. Try not to spoil things for you, but you're already being spoiled as it is. So let's just keep on moving. You can pause it there and read it. Pause it there and read it. Pause it here and read it. Okay, so yeah, here we go. A monstrous statement take said Shadow's choice of words. It was not surprising, but okay, wait a minute. Let me back this up. Whoa. The crimes. Hang on. This is such a sickness there that's so painfully obvious. There's a psychosis there. Shatner said, I don't know what his original thing about me was. I have no idea. I literally don't know him. I didn't even know him very well on the series. He'd come in for a day or two, as evidenced by the role he played. Takai claims to know Shatner better than he cared than he'd care to admit. However, during his week-long stint now they're calling it a stint anyway, as a guest on the Howard Stern show, BIA Trek movie. Takai told the DJ that the self-centered Star Shatner refused to join him and other former Star Trek cast members on stage for the ailing James Doohan's Scotty last ever convention appearance, reportedly calling it Alzheimer's crap. Whoa! Wow. A monstrous statement, Takai said, on Shatner's choice of words. It was not surprising, but yes, shocking. It's just the usual thing that happens on the set, whether it was the TV series or the movies or at conventions. This was another convention where he decided he was not going to do what they wanted him to do, and he walked out. Doohan passed away in 2005. I don't remember that. So, Tony Curtis and Marilyn Monroe. Okay. This name is a controversial name. Marilyn Monroe was actually someone who got, I think, something about killed by somebody who was a president. Somebody once told me that. It was supposedly that way, and they buried it or something. I don't know if that's true or not, but I'm not going to claim or deny that. But anyway, so I'm not going to... Okay, I don't want to read that part. Betty and Davis and Joanne Crawford. Okay. Wow, you talking about really back in the day. Because, a lot of these shows I don't think I ever saw, but even if I did, which I didn't, some of them that were actually, believe it or not, I grew up with the TVs when I was very young, and they still had black and white. By the time that we had colored, black and white was still a thing, you know? And it wasn't until much later that black and white was phased out. I mean, we still had it, but it was for the old series, and they still had black or colored episodes. Whatever. Mickey Rourke. There's a name I haven't heard in a while. Who are those two people? Because they don't look familiar in this photo. So, I mean, that one guy on the left there kind of looks familiar, but the guy on the right, that might be Robert De Niro, but I don't recognize him from that point because there's a lot of people I think really pay attention to over the years, and a lot of times they just stayed the same over the years. However, I don't know. Martin Scorsese is crime epic, blah blah blah. Okay, I'll let you just kind of pause and read that there. What are you doing over there? Okay, we're gonna go all the way down the bottom. Leonardo DiCaprio and Mark Wahlberg. Just in case you didn't get this part. Mark Wahlberg. Wow. Long before they appeared alongside each other. So look at that photo. Very young. I do recognize Leonardo DiCaprio. I don't recognize the other guy. Oh, I kind of do now. More look at him. Just barely. The guy on the left is Mark Wahlberg. Barely. If you look at him and think about what he looks like today, it takes a little bit sometimes, depending on, I guess, your brain. I can confirm that because of my brain. I didn't see it at first, but I know what Leonardo DiCaprio looks like, and the one on the right is Leonardo DiCaprio. Anyway, because I recognize his face, especially from what's that movie? I think it was called The Titanic. Yeah, the Titanic. Anyway, I'm not gonna get into the do's and don'ts of what that movie was, but long before they appeared alongside each other, and Martin Scorsese's best sculpture, and blah 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 blah. Okay, so we'll pause that here if you want to. Okay. Wow, there's a lot of people here. So I'll just leave a deal and the deal if you want to read more, because I really don't care. To be honest with you, this is far too long for me. I'll you know share and copy link. Anyway, I'll see y'all later. Alright, hey guys, my name is Brian Bonagazzi here, and welcome back, folks, and one and all to Command and Conquer Red Alert Retaliation. Okay, so I've already decided this, that when it comes to this game, I might be still doing skirmish mode in between to kind of take a break from the deal. But I want to try and do it. I'm going to have to split it up anyway because of how long they are going to take. Otherwise, if I don't, because of how much time it takes for me to concentrate and all that, just like skirmish mode. But I've already decided that I might switch it out with for meantime instead of, whatever. But I've already got something I'm going to add on to this. It's going to be the very first part of it, but this will be the last of it. I actually screwed up with an episode. Or actually, it did, but let's not go there. It might have been a case of us both, but I'm not going to say and try to shift the blame on solely one person. But anyway, or one program. But yeah, I got it corrected by doing. I deleted the other part because it put the order wrong. It's a good thing I had it backed up. In other words, it's a good thing I hadn't deleted the original COT too, because it needed to be put together. Even though I had a third one that I had gone ahead and put up on there to put how much time was on each, just to point it out. But, it was only 42 seconds worth. Anyway. So, in this episode, we're going to try and finish these guys off. I mean, once I start doing the campaign mode, I'm going to start concentrating on that, not separating them. But, you know, it won't take too long. All right.
Construction complete. Building. Unit ready. Building. Construction complete. Unit ready. Building. Building. Unit ready. Building. Construction complete. Unit ready. Building. Training. Vehicle reporting. Acknowledged. Unit ready. Unit ready. Affirmative. Construction. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Reporting. Acknowledged. Unit ready. Yes, sir. Acknowledged.
All right, I'll see y'all in the next episode. Later.